You might be losing mental sharpness without even realizing it. Not because you're lazy, not because you're not trying, but because the things you do every single day, the things that feel harmless, maybe even smart, are quietly rewiring your brain to think less, focus less, remember less. And the scary part? It doesn't feel like it's happening. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat completely still? No phone, no music, no screen, just you and your thoughts. Can't remember? That's the first sign. You've trained your brain to run from boredom. Every time you're in line, waiting for something to load, stuck in traffic, you reach for your phone. It's automatic now, a reflex, and every time you do it, you're teaching your brain something dangerous, that silence is the enemy. But here's what you're actually killing: the space where intelligence grows. Boredom isn't emptiness. It's when your mind starts connecting things, solving problems you didn't know you had, coming up with ideas that feel like they came out of nowhere. That's not magic. That's what your brain does when you stop feeding it junk. Think about it. Einstein didn't have a podcast playing while he figured out relativity. Dostoevsky wasn't scrolling between chapters. Their minds were quiet, and in that quiet, they thought deeply. You've forgotten how. Every swipe, every refresh, every new tab, it's a hit of dopamine with no effort, and your brain loves that, so it stops reaching for the hard stuff, the deep stuff, the stuff that actually makes you sharper. You're not dumb, you're distracted, and distraction over time becomes dumbness. So here's what I want you to try. Next time you're waiting somewhere, don't touch your phone. Let yourself be bored. It'll feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort, that's your brain waking up. But there's something else you're doing, and this one's harder to admit. You talk more than you listen. Not always, but enough. You interrupt. You wait for your turn to speak instead of actually hearing what someone is saying. You argue to win, not to understand. And every time you do that, you close a door. Because the person in front of you, even if they're wrong, even if you disagree, knows something you don't. Always. They've lived a life you haven't, seen things you haven't, thought in ways you haven't. But you'll never learn it if you're too busy proving you already know. Intelligence isn't about having all the answers, it's about staying open to new ones. The loudest person in the room is rarely the smartest, they're just the most afraid of being wrong. The quiet one, they're watching, processing, connecting dots you didn't even see. So the next time you're about to jump in, pause. Ask a question instead, not to seem polite, but because you actually want to know. That shift, that's where growth starts. Here's the third thing, and this is the one that keeps you stuck. You quit the moment something makes you feel stupid. You start learning a language, pick up a book that's too dense, try a new skill, and the second it gets hard, you tell yourself it's not for you, that you're not that kind of person. But the truth, you're just scared. Scared of looking dumb, scared of not being good right away. So you go back to what's easy, what's comfortable, what makes you feel smart without effort. But intelligence doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in confusion, in frustration, in that awful moment when you don't understand and your brain wants to give up. That's the moment it's actually getting stronger. Your brain is a muscle, and just like lifting weights, it only grows when you push it past what it can handle. If you never struggle, you never grow. You just stay soft. So the next time something feels hard, don't run, sit with it. Let yourself not know. That discomfort, that's not failure, that's progress. And the last one, this might sting a little. You think you already know enough. Not consciously, but somewhere along the way, you stopped being curious. You stopped questioning your own beliefs. You rely on what you've always thought, what you've always been told, and you never dig deeper. You've become certain, and certainty is where intelligence goes to die. The smartest people you know, they're the ones still asking questions, still changing their minds, still saying, "I don't know," without shame, because they understand something you forgot. Growth only happens when you admit you haven't arrived yet. So ask yourself, when's the last time you changed your mind about something that mattered? If you can't remember, Maybe it's because you're right. Maybe it's because you've stopped learning. You're not losing your intelligence because of who you are. You're losing it because of what you do, every day, without noticing. But the second you notice, everything changes. Stay curious, stay uncomfortable, stay humble. That's how you stay sharp.